Story 1. My 39/M. Husband wants to kick our 17/M son out as soon as he graduates. I'm honestly not sure I agree with my husband on this one. Our son is a senior in high school right now and is expected to graduate this year. He'll be turning 18 in August, and that's when my husband thinks it's time to kick him out. He's really set on this idea that our son needs to spread his wings and learn how to handle life on his own. That also means no financial help from us once he's 18. The thing is, our son isn't lazy. He works hard, spending most of his time studying or at football practice. He also made the decision to hold off on going to college until he feels sure about what he wants to do. I actually think it's pretty mature of him to take that time and figure things out. But my husband sees it differently. He thinks it's a sign that our son is being lazy and immature, and it's been causing constant tension between us. My argument is, as long as he's working and contributing, what's the harm in him staying with us a little longer? Why is it expected that once kids turn 18, they have to leave and do everything on their own? He's our only child. He's still our baby. I just don't understand why he has to be pushed out before he's ready. As a mother, I feel like I'm failing him if I push him out when he isn't prepared to take on the world just yet. I want him to leave when he's truly ready, not because of some arbitrary deadline. Comment 1. I have a close friend whose parents did this to him after his first year of college. Completely shut off all financial aid or even communication with him, saying that it was for his own good. 2 years later, someone who used to be the smartest and most hardworking person I knew is working as a pizza delivery driver and other odd jobs just to make ends meet. He lives in a crappy apartment in the worst part of town. This is a guy who was the top of his class and voted most likely to become successful. If you want your son to have a good life, help him. That spreading his wings philosophy is bullshit, and in my opinion, something that lazy parents use to get rid of their kids. Children are a lifelong commitment and investment, not something to be disregarded after 18 years. Comment 2. If you let his father do this to him, especially as callously as he seems to be about it, your son will blame both of you equally. And you'll probably both take the brunt of the consequences of that decision. You have every right to decide to support your son if you wish to. It'll give him a much better life down the road, and you'll have a much better relationship with him. Don't let your husband strong-arm you into thinking you shouldn't or can't support your own child. Comment 3. Your husband wants to kick your son out in the midst of a pandemic with most businesses shut down and the housing and school markets absolutely punitive? I'm sure that won't lead to a rift in the family at all. Comment 4. How is your husband's relationship with your son normally? Is your son aware of any of this, or does your husband want to surprise him on his birthday and tell him to GTFO? Does your husband happen to be your son's stepdad? Just clarifying. Story 2. Update. My 39/M. Husband wants to kick our 17/M son out as soon as he graduates. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to update you. Life's been a bit of a whirlwind lately. Unfortunately, things didn't improve. We couldn't come to an agreement, and our marriage has come to an end. My husband has become even more determined to kick our son out, even going so far as to try and throw his things out. He's accusing me of babying our son, saying I'm turning him into a girly man. He even told me, word for word, that he didn't raise a slur. Then he gave me an ultimatum. Choose between him or our son. I chose my son. I handed him the divorce papers and told him to leave. As for our son, he's welcome to stay as long as he wants, rent-free. Comment 1. You can replace a spouse. Can't replace your son. Comment 2. Your husband is the poster boy for toxic masculinity. Your husband will probably never understand why his son never speaks to him ever again and will always think he was right, which is sad, but all you can do in the face of such stupidity, ignorance, and stubbornness is what you did. Walk away. Comment 3. I was able to become a doctor 100% due to the fact that my mom looked out for me the same way that you are looking out for your son. I understand where the dad is coming from, but I don't agree with it. There's a saying in medicine regarding the harsh/demeaning treatment of students by their preceptors. If you think that it is okay to treat your students harshly because you were treated harshly and turn out okay, then you in fact did not turn out okay. Story 3. My sister, F22, ripped up my F19 Stan Lee autograph, and I haven't forgiven her even if my mom, 46F, is pressuring me to, for family's sake. So, I'm a massive Marvel nerd. I cosplay, attend conventions, and even draw my own fan art. Mostly fun, fanservice-y stuff. It's something I genuinely love and feel proud of. My sister, on the other hand, constantly ridicules my hobby. She calls it pathetic and retarded, and says I'm delusional for playing dress-up as an adult. We don't really have a friends relationship, we're just sisters. If that makes sense. Anyway, 3 years ago I saved up enough money to attend a con in the US. And I actually got to meet Stan Lee. The Stan Lee. He signed one of my original drawings of the Big Three, Cap, Iron Man, and Thor, and even complimented it. It was honestly one of the best moments of my life. That signed piece has been framed and on my wall ever since. A few weeks ago, my sister asked to borrow my jacket. I told her no. She'd been nasty to me all week, and I just didn't feel like doing her any favors. She sulked. I left the house and thought that was the end of it. When I came back, I found my Stan Lee autograph ripped up on the floor. I completely lost it. I was sobbing. My sister came in and started mocking me. Look at the grown-ass woman crying over a piece of paper. When she realized how upset I actually was, she switched to, "It's just paper, you could get another one." I pushed her out of my room, and since then, I've been completely distant. She tries to talk, and I shut her down. She's tried to bribe me with movie tickets. I told her to take her boyfriend instead. She still hasn't apologized. She just keeps saying, "You should be over by now." My mom's on her side. She says material things shouldn't come between family, and that I should forgive and move on. My dad, he's on my side. He's a big Marvel fan too, and when he found out what happened, he was furious. Not just at my sister, but at my mom too, for brushing off. Now, they're fighting about it constantly. Mom thinks dad should talk some sense into me, and dad thinks mom spoiled my sister and failed to hold her accountable. So yeah, I feel stuck between being guilt-ridden and still absolutely furious. Am I really being unfair for not letting this go? Edit. Thank you so much to everyone who took the time to respond. I feel a lot better now. A few of you suggested showing them how much Stan Lee's autograph is actually worth, and I think that's a smart move, though I'll need to word it carefully so it doesn't sound like I'm making this all about money. Update. My dad and I found a local professional who restores torn or damaged art/photos, and we're going to see if they can help fix the sign drawing. He also decided to use part of the money he was planning to gift my sister for her car down payment to cover the restoration. As you can imagine, my sister lost it. She's now staying with my mom in my grandparents' house. Classic tantrum. Anyway, thank you, Reddit. Your support helped me stay firm and feel heard. I really appreciate it. Comment 1. Blood means nothing without respect. Don't move on and let her off the hook. She sounds like a nasty person who won't learn a lesson if you forgive her. Comment 2. Well, this reminds me of a time in Little Women when Amy burned Joe's book of short stories. Joe refused to forgive her, and then the next day, Amy fell through the ice while skating and almost died. Joe was so devastated at the thought of losing her sister and blamed herself for going to bed angry. Which was a load of bullshit I'm still mad about 30 years after reading it for the first time. It's not your job to make your sister who did something cruel and horrible to you feel better about it. Comment 3. You and your dad are 100% right. Your sister is lucky that she isn't my sister, because for revenge, I would have burned her favorite things before punching her in the face. Story 4. Update. My sister, F22, ripped up my F19 Stan Lee autograph, and I haven't forgiven her. Even tough, our mother, F46, is pressuring me to. Update. Thank you all for the amazing advice. It really helped give me clarity and strength. A lot has happened since my mom and sister stormed out, and my dad and I used the money, originally meant for my sister's car down payment, to restore my signed Stan Lee artwork. Shortly after, my grandma called, asking what was going on. I was a little nervous at first, but I explained everything to her, what happened, who Stan Lee was, why the signed art mattered so much to me. To my surprise, she completely understood. I was honestly relieved. I had half expected a lecture or guilt trip. But nope. Grandma got it. For a moment, it felt like Dad and I weren't completely alone in this. Of course, my sister found out I'd spoken to Grandma and accused me of being a snitch. I told her flat out. Grandma asked me what happened. I told her the truth. Period. But here's where it got interesting. Turns out my sister had been ranting in her group chat, mocking me, my love for Marvel, and the whole situation again. One of the guys in the group, apparently a big Marvel fan himself, got seriously pissed off. They had a huge argument in the chat, and he ended up posting screenshots of her messages to his Instagram story. Yeah, those screenshots spread like wildfire. Now she's being ostracized by a good chunk of our community. Not everyone, of course, but enough that it's made a serious dent in her social life. This morning, my mom and sister came back home. It was tense. No one said much. Eventually, my mom came into my room. She asked if we'd found someone to restore the autograph. We had a short, kind of stiff conversation until she finally asked, "Why are you making such a big deal about all of this?" And I said what many of you encouraged me to say. I stayed calm, but I laid it all out. I explained who Stan Lee was. I told her how much time and effort I put into that drawing, how much it meant to me. I told her the estimated monetary value, but I also said it wasn't just about the autograph. It was about the disrespect she and my sister showed me, how little they seemed to value me or my passion. And then I said, "You told me it's not worth it to destroy a family over material things. But your daughter destroyed my most valuable possession because I wouldn't lend her a jacket." She went quiet. Then she cried. She apologized genuinely. She admitted she didn't know how to handle the situation and that she just wanted the tension to end. And because I'm usually the calmer one, she selfishly expected me to be the bigger person. It wasn't a perfect moment, but it was real. Now, my parents are sitting down to talk seriously with my sister. She still hasn't apologized. Not once. But at least now it's not just me and my dad calling her out. We'll see what happens next. But for now, I'm finally starting to feel like my voice is being heard. Comment 1. I'm glad your mom came to her senses. I hope they stop supporting your sister and make her act like an independent adult. Comment 2. I'm glad to hear that your mom came around and that your artwork is being restored somewhat at your sister's expense. The next step your mother needs to take is to stop enabling your sister's spoiled behavior and teach her to start acting like an adult and take responsibility for her actions and life. If she is suffering from some mental health issues, which I think is a possibility, then they need to take her to get some professional help. But if it isn't a mental health issue and just her personality, then your parents need to create a timeline for her to get a job, pay for her own car, and move out of the house as she has shown that she has no respect for you or the rest of her family. Comment 3. I'm glad your mom at least pulled her head out of her ass and is trying to make things right. Unfortunately, it sounds like your sister may have a bigger underlying issue, NPD or similar, and will never understand or feel remorse. I hope they're able to restore it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.